And at our focus, it's the new face of espionage. Silent, seductive, and dangerously effective. China and Russia are reportedly waging a covert sex warfare campaign inside the United States, targeting Silicon Valley's brightest minds, reportedly. An invisible war of intimacy and betrayal, where secrets are not stolen with guns, but with deception. Take a look.
Behind the glass towers of Silicon Valley, an invisible war rages. No sirens, no bombs, just whispers, glances, and the quiet click of betrayal. It's not a movie plot, it's happening right now. US intelligence officials have uncovered an extraordinary new front in global espionage. Foreign operatives using romance, marriage, even children to steal America's most valuable technology secrets. According to explosive reports, Chinese and Russian spy networks have embedded agents in California's tech corridors, women trained to charm, seduce and entangle engineers, executives and researchers working on sensitive innovations worth billions of dollars. These agents, described as long-term assets, build trust over years, entering lives, families and boardrooms. Some marry their targets, others bear their children. Their real target are the tech secrets, a silent leakage of defense algorithms, AI models and cheap blueprints flowing eastwards, invisible, intimate, unstoppable. Experts warn this is not new, just perfected. The KGB did it, the CIA knew it, the MI5 has done it. But in the digital age, the stakes are nuclear. Every leaked algorithm, every stolen chip design could shift the balance of global power. This warfare isn't new. Honeytraps are ancient espionage tactics. What's changed is the target. During the Cold War, spies targeted government officials and military personnel. Now they target engineers, venture capitalists, startup founders, the people building AI systems, quantum computers, hypersonic weapons, satellite networks. The scale is staggering. Theft of American intellectual property costs the US up to $600 billion annually, most attributed to Chinese economic intelligence operations. This isn't about stealing a single patent or prototype. This is about access to the minds creating tomorrow's technology. What makes it terrifying is its invisibility. There's no trace, no digital footprint, just emotion weaponized. A single heist disguised as love. By the time truth surfaces, the damage is already done. Hearts broken, industries gutted, nations outplayed. This is the spy war no one talks about. Fought not with bullets, but with bodies. And in America's race to stay ahead, the deadliest threat may already be sleeping beside its secrets. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
The financial cost of the Gaza war for Israel has surpassed $67 billion since 2023. And by mid-2025, the total projected costs were expected to reach about $87.5 billion, according to official estimates. The costs include both direct and indirect military expenditures, as well as the economic implications from the war. The cost of Israel's military operations has surged, and the war spending between January and May was reportedly over $30 billion. Analysts expect defense spending to nearly double this year compared to the pre-war levels, accounting for about 7% of Israel's GDP. A significant portion of direct costs coming from payments to reserve soldiers. An official estimate reports that a third of wartime spending, or about $20 billion, went towards pay and benefits for over 360,000 reservists mobilized. Israel faces a funding crunch from budget deficit widening to about 7% of the GDP. The Bank of Israel initially predicted growth of 3% for 2024, but revised it down to 2%. The war is expected to shave about 1 to 2% from Israel's GDP for this year. Israel has received substantial military aid from the US, including a $16.3 billion supplemental aid package. Still, according to the Bank of Israel, the long-term economic losses could reach $400 billion over the next decade. The Finance Ministry, for its part, is seeking to cut social services spending in its fiscal fight. For this year, the Defense Ministry sees between 118 billion and 130 billion shekel, or $31 billion to $35 billion to cover the Gaza operations. However, the Finance Ministry capped the defense budget at 110 billion shekel, or $29 billion, to prevent credit downgrades. Still, Fitch downgraded Israel's credit rating, citing the high cost of the conflict and increased security spending. Beyond the direct impact, there are other hits to the economy from the Gaza war. The mass call-up of reservists has significantly disrupted the labor market. Estimates showing a loss of economic output of about 100 million shekels per day. The conflict has hit Israel's tourism industry, with international flights suspended and visitor numbers plummeting. The Gaza conflict has weighed on investor and business confidence. Israel's crucial high-tech sector has also been hit by the decline in foreign and domestic investment. Some tech companies have cancelled investments or moved operations elsewhere due to the prolonged uncertainty. Reports show Intel reportedly cancelled a $25 billion factory construction, and Samsung next closed its venture capital operations in Israel. Tonight, we're getting you a harrowing tale, a look at the hidden underworld in Myanmar, reportedly, where criminal networks are running vast scam centers. Thousands of people are being held in conditions that can be described as modern-day slavery. Reportedly, investigations are revealing that hundreds of thousands of people are being trafficked from across Asia, Africa, even Europe. They are being lured by the promise of legitimate work, jobs as simple as customer service or computer operators, reportedly. But once inside the compounds, the reality becomes grim. Workers are barred from leaving, forced to run cyber scams for long hours, and told that they must pay off inflated debts for the cost of their travel. Those who fail to meet their quotas, reportedly, face torture, imprisonment and death in some cases. Villagers along the Moi River have reported finding bodies of enslaved workers dumped in the water. These gangs reportedly run a system of fear and control where beatings and even killings are carried out under orders. Dead bodies, allegedly, sometimes displayed in front of the compounds as a warning, aiming to send out a lesson to those who might consider escaping. The scale of the operation is massive. Security is often provided by local militias, while the operations themselves are largely controlled by the Chinese gangsters, reportedly. The impact is global. Victims' targets span the world, with scammers reaching into countries like Britain. In 2023 alone, Southeast Asia reportedly lost $37 billion to cybercrimes. The international community is taking notice as the US and the UK recently imposed sanctions on the Prince Group, one of the largest networks reportedly orchestrating these scams. And early this week, the Myanmar military detained over 2,000 people. But freedom remains a distant hope, it seems. The story emerging from these compounds is one of human exploitation, allegedly, on an industrial scale.